They just watched a dragon destroy probably like the most beloved building at the time, that church, like that chapel, destroy all the stained glass windows, even the ones he didn't have to destroy, just destroying them. Sorry. Uh, and then ate their king, or
Lord.
sorry, Lord, and then left.
Yeah, but
And they were like,
to be fair,
yeah.
do any of them actually like him?
And then on top of all of this, they watched two ogres get married. And they're like, everyone's like, yeah. Yeah.
It's true love's first kiss.
No one was like, maybe let's get out of here. No.
And now time for The Viewing Room with Adam and Ethan.
Do I look good?
You look fantastic.
Welcome to the viewing room where we talk about films new and old, local and global. Today we're talking about Shrek, which was released in 2001, April 22nd to be specific, with a budget of 60 million US dollars.
Yep.
60 million US dollars sounds like a fair bit for an early 2000s animation, but with how high the quality is,
Yeah. And also considering how long it took them to make it.
yes, that was my next point, is starting in 1996,
Yeah.
finishing in 2001, kind of a long road.
You know, I got to give a shout out to Amazon Prime. I never noticed this before,
Whoa.
but they just hold on. This was one small thing I like. When you pause it, it has like the cast on the side. It pulls it from IMDb. It has like the cast, and it has some little trivia things on the side.
Yes.
I'd never noticed it before, and I really like that.
I
That's the one thing they're doing right.
I was not expecting an Amazon shout out, but I do agree with you, because when I like watched Jack Ryan, you
Yeah.
could like tap the little Roku remote
Yeah.
and it would be like actors in the scene.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, whoa,
It's really
that's pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That's pretty awesome. And I think that is something kind of cool. And I think every streaming service should have that, because it's
Yeah.
just so easy to find information.
Yeah.
If you're walking past the TV and something's like
Well, and like how many
automatically
times do you like, oh, I know that actor. Where do I know them from? Well, in this case, you just hit one button and you know who it is.
Exactly. I agree with you. That's like,
Yeah.
It's perfect. April 22nd, 2001.
Yeah.
US release date. A lot of the other Shrek films released in May. Don't know why I just said that, but I said it. Don't know if that was like super pertinent to this conversation.
I think it was, obviously.
But-
you wouldn't have said it.
But May seems to be like the month of Shrek, and I'm pretty sure, isn't May when the new Shrek releases? Like next May?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember.
Strange. Maybe we'll get to that, because the new Shrek is going to have some people Shrek'd out.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Number 4 or 5?
Oh, it's got to be 5. It's just 5.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's 5 because
Yeah.
there's Shrek 2, Shrek the Third, Shrek. It's not 4, but it's 4, but it's not
Forever
the
After
name.
or something?
Yeah, Forever After or something like that. So this would be Shrek 5.
Once Upon a Time in Shrekywood. Or
Yeah,
whatever. Not
something
sure.
like that.
Not sure how that goes. Cast: Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz, John Lithgow.
Eddie Murphy does a fantastic job.
Yeah,
as
Eddie
Donkey.
Mur-
I
Eddie Murphy
freaking
is
love
Donkey, yes.
Donkey in this movie. He's probably my favorite character.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry if my energy sounds a little low.
No, it's
Obviously, I just came off of getting sick again. I feel like that's twice this year I've gotten sick, and it's only what, March, almost.
It's almost April.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's brutal.
I feel like March is just, you know.
Yeah, I feel like the year's 20% over already. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, kind of strange. Okay. John Lithgow as Lord Farquaad is hilarious. Perfect casting.
Yeah.
Maybe. What an incredible job as Lord Farquaad. And I was trying to research fun facts and random things, and the biggest thing I could find is John Lithgow is like a tall guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's 6'4".
Yeah.
Guess how tall Lord Farquaad is?
What is he, 4'1" or something?
He's 4'6".
4'6", yeah.
So 6'4" and
Yeah,
4'6".
okay,
It's
that's
like,
kind of funny.
I thought I doubt they did that on purpose, but like
No, it's...
pretty funny to me. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just super short, and I think it goes to satirical, almost cartoon villain, like random king,
Yeah.
and it's hilarious. I think they do a really good job with Lord Farquaad's character and making him feel like realistic. You know what I
Yep.
mean? In a land
Yeah.
where
Well, I feel like they nail the Fantasyland vibes. Like,
yes.
between Lord Farquaad and the dragon and the lava and just all the random fairy tale creatures thrown in, like, it just
Over 1,000
Yeah,
in the scene.
like it just makes you feel like
Mhm.
all those stories that you read as a child or whatever are in one,
Yes, so much so that the producers thought they were going to get sued by Disney.
Oh, I could see
So
that happening. That Disney's very litigious.
the first people to watch the movie when it was done were like a large community of lawyers. Yeah. Which I mean sounds like most movies. Like when I think about it, like if we're being honest, like
Yeah, like most movies are going to get picked over by a team of lawyers before they're ever
for
seen the light
sure,
of
and
day.
insurance and stuff. But
Yeah.
but I think they definitely thought like, well, this is gonna be it for us between the Cinderella, Snow White references and the dwarves,
Yep.
and then a whole army of fairy tale creatures appearing in Shrek Swamp.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's free
guess they-
advertising for Disney too at the same time, right?
Mhm.
I mean, like, your kid sees that and they're like, "Oh, I've never heard that story," and then you go and show them that story. I don't know. To me, it's free advertising.
If- the thing is, I think you can make the argument: does Disney have the rights to
That's
those
true.
characters? Like maybe they have like the character rights, where like they look a certain way and wear certain things. But wouldn't you consider
But they
most
are,
of them to
like-
be fairy
Yeah, they're like
tales?
folk tales. Like a lot of them have origins long before Disney.
So who owns those?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I guess it's probably public domain technically for a lot of them.
Given the fact that Mickey Mouse is public domain, yes.
Well, now
I think
that's
it's
just
long
a
enough.
time-based thing. Mickey Mouse is only public domain because I think it's 50 years since the original creator's death.
Right.
Anything that's
So can't you argue that with all the?
Well, yeah, but I
people
guess
who
the
bring it up?
origins aren't as clear, so I guess maybe it would be. I don't know. That's a good question for a lawyer, and neither of us are lawyers, so.
Very interesting. Yeah, hard to say.
Yeah.
I don't think it super duper matters, but yeah, there we go. I think you can use the word Snow White probably maybe somewhere without having to worry. But I think it's like when you draw Snow White looking like Snow White, like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
I don't know.
I have no idea either. Really, I'm just talking to my ass.
The new Snow White, the live action one coming out.
It did come out.
Yep. And I think it flopped. I know it flopped. I hope it flopped.
Yeah, I don't really have any stats on that. I heard it wasn't doing so well at the box office.
No, it was one of those releases that they were just like, okay, we have to get this out. It should have been in January with the quietest release possible, but
Yeah, I think that's a tough thing too, right? Is when there's no hype around it. You know what I mean?
well,
It's
when your
not
lead
so
actress
tough.
goes and trashes everybody, it's pretty hard to market a movie properly.
Who's this?
Rachel Zegler.
Really?
There's been a lot of controversy around her and Gal Gadot and a bunch of stuff. Like she came right
Isn't
out.
Gal Gadot in the movie?
Yeah. That's why like the whole Oscars thing was so awkward.
What was the Oscars thing?
Well, like like when they were presenting the award, I don't remember which one they presented. Like it was like the tension was palpable, and like, yeah, no, there's been a whole bunch of shit. Look it up.
I've been living under a rock.
Yeah, you literally have.
Yeah, sorry. I guess I wasn't as in tuned with Snow White. as
It's been a big thing because they went through like 17 million reshoots, and first there was
That many.
originally live action dwarves, and then that was considered offensive to some people. So then they put in CGI dwarves that look like monstrosities, and the other thing that I find really really funny about that is that like Rachel Zegler is not unattractive, but we can all agree Gal Gadot is far more attractive than Rachel Zegler.
Yes.
And when you have Gal Gadot playing the evil queen, that's like, who's the fairest of them all? And she wants to be as beautiful as Rachel Zegler. It's like, this doesn't make any sense. Anyway, we're way off topic now.
That makes sense. Okay, thanks for like the little debrief. I felt like the
Yes.
president there in the situation room. Like that was good. Let's hit up a synopsis, I guess. Once upon a time, in a faraway swamp, there lived an ogre named Shrek, whose precious solitude is suddenly shattered by an invasion of annoying fairy tale creatures. They were all banished from their kingdom by the evil Lord Farquaad. Determined to save their home, not to mention his, Shrek cuts a deal with Farquaad and sets out to rescue Princess Fiona to be Farquaad's bride. Rescuing the princess may be small compared to her deep, dark secret. Now, saying this Shrek wants to save their home, not really true.
No,
he
he
says,
just wants his home back.
He says, "I'm gonna get you back. Oh, where you came from?" And they're all like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay, I guess this is happening." And you're coming with me. Like
Yeah.
whatever. But like,
Mike Myers does the accent very well, eh?
oh wow, that was really solid.
That was not very
Can
solid.
I pay you to like call me before bed each night and like scot me to sleep? No, so he basically, all these fairy tale creatures come to Shrek, and Shrek's an ogre. He's living in a swamp, and they've all been banished from like the lands because
Duloc.
well, Duloc is one of them, like one of the areas
Yeah.
in the kingdom, because they're disgusting fairy tale creatures that don't belong with like human normal folk, right? So they've all been banished to Shrek's swamp. Shrek's an ogre. He likes peace. He's very much a kind of a loner. You know what I mean? He wants to be left alone because people think he should be left alone, and he thinks that if people think he should be left alone, then maybe he should be left alone too.
Yeah.
Because if everyone is going to be like scared of him, then maybe he is just a scary dumb ogre. That's what he says. It's kind of sad, but we'll get to that. He meets Donkey. Donkey's a talking donkey. Very creative name.
Yeah,
right. Played by Eddie Murphy. And basically, Donkey and Shrek go on a quest to Duloc to tell Lord Farquaad, who's banished all these fairy tale creatures in his home, to send them back where they came from. Also, he's going to be doing some big dumb ogre stuff and take over the lands again, right? So they go to Duloc, where there's an arena taking place. Basically, what's happening is Lord Farquaad wants a princess. Because if he has a princess, they can become king and queen. Right? That's basically how that works.
That's basically the idea.
If he's a prince,
He's a lord, and so if he
lord.
marries a princess, then he
I
becomes king.
yes, Lord Farquaad.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
dumb of me.
Yeah, no, it's
Well,
fine. It's
that
a
was dumb
little
of me.
small thing.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, he's a Tsar, okay? and that's why they call him Tsar Lord Farquaad. No. So basically, Shrek and Donkey go to Lord Farquaad, who's hosting a tournament of champions of sorts, to find out who's going to rescue his bride for him. Now, why would we whittle down the competition when we could just send a battalion of men to go rescue the girl?
Because it's supposed to be one champion, the best knight of them all. Oh, so they're not killing. It's just a tournament. They're just, mildly maiming each other.
Yeah. I'm just saying. But anyways, Shrek and Donkey come, and everyone's like shocked to see an ogre, and so everyone starts fighting.
Like, they're shocked to see an ogre, but not a talking donkey.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like an ogre is more acceptable in this case than a talking donkey.
Well, and then Lord Farquaad goes, "Oh, what is that? It's hideous." And he's like, "Oh, that's not very nice. He's just a donkey." yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah. Oh man, so
The dialogue
funny.
is just so snappy like that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's such a funny movie, man.
Yeah.
Gosh, I love this movie. And then you've seen this before.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's seen.
I haven't
Shrek.
seen it in a long time, and that's the other thing is I noticed so many more of the adult jokes. It's crazy. Like, we talk about it with all of our like Pixar animated ones, but like they're just masters of, you don't notice it as a kid, and then you watch it as an adult and you're like, "Oh my god, how did they get away with that?" Like,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And I feel like I've seen Shrek a lot, almost like every year. I feel like, but yeah, I definitely enjoy it. Anyways, Shrek and Donkey end up winning this tournament of champions in a really cool fight scene. And instead of killing them, Lord Farquaad's like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna send these guys to go get the princess, and in return, I'll free Shrek's
I'm
swamp."
gonna turn that heater off again. We forget this every goddamn time.
Yes. So Shrek and Donkey set out on their quest to rescue Princess Fiona. There's this nice little scene where they're walking through like a cornfield or like some crops. Shrek picks up an onion. He's like showing Donkey that ogres are like onions because they have layers, not like cakes. But Shrek kind of tries to relate to Donkey that, there's more to Shrek than just scaring people and getting what he wants, basically. And Donkey tries to understand that. Now, to Donkey's credit, Donkey's the only one that doesn't see him necessarily as an ogre, but sees him as a friend. And Shrek is kind of, we see that at the start of the film. He's kind of like, oh, I never kind of thought that, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, they go on a quest. They find the castle where Princess Fiona is. There's a dragon. I mean, we can go through some of this a bit if you want, but basically,
Donkey seduces the dragon. If you play D&D, it's every bard's dream.
Yeah, Donkey seduces the dragon, and that's fine until the 2 films from now when they have kids and you see the amalgamation of flying donkey babies.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh
God, do I want to see this?
First of all, I want you to think about how it works.
I don't. I really don't want to think about that, actually.
Yeah, that was weird.
Also, the fact that one is a reptile and one is a mammal, that really makes even less sense. What the? That looks like something out of a horror movie. Send that to me and I'm going to put it on the screen.
There's a Polygon article. Shrek 2 didn't chicken out on its donkey dragon sex. It's an article. Let me just send that your way. Yeah.
God, that
Let
literally
me put that
looks,
over the screen.
That looks like what was that big thing that was going on? Teletubbies. Like some of those horror pictures of Teletubbies.
Yeah.
Like
so
God,
anyways,
terrifying.
They look like they're bred of incest, but that's fine. Look, that's like a better.
Yeah, that is weird. Really weird.
They're very cute in a weird way. Yeah, so whatever. Donkey seduces a dragon. Basically, Shrek rescues Fiona.
Yes.
Fiona is like, whoa, thanks for rescuing my captor. And like, now we kind of have to have true love's first kiss and whatnot. But Shrek explains, like, no, this isn't going to be us. This is going to be Lord Farquaad because he's basically paying me to, like, rescue you.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, well, what kind of prince doesn't, like, come and save her princess? And I don't know. I guess you're going to have to ask him yourself. And so
they make a whole bunch of jokes about his height. I love all the
Yes.
jokes that they make there.
Yeah,
They're
compensating for something. Yes.
Yeah, well, and just like all like you're gonna have to measure it out, and all those ones that like just
Yeah.
oh God, and I mean
Yeah.
they double too, as you know.
Yes, unlike Lord Farquaad.
Yes.
Yes. Fiona, basically, after they escape the keep, is like demands to see what Shrek looks
Yes.
like so she can know who.
Which is one of the most
Brave
ridiculous
knight,
scenes
yes.
in my opinion.
Yes, Shrek takes off his helmet
That didn't fit very well anyway. You could
Yeah.
see he was large and green.
and his ears and
Yeah,
stuff.
his ears and his hands. Like, tell me you didn't notice.
Yeah, exactly. But he does take off his helmet. She finds out she's an ogre. She's like, oh, I wasn't supposed to be this way. She demands to go back to the keep until like a real knight can come rescue her and whatnot. But no, she
He slings her over his shoulder and
yeah.
away they go.
Yeah, Shrek's like, this isn't gonna happen. Now, whatever, some shenanigans. There's like they get robbed, basically highway robbery. I'm gonna skip through most of that because like really, I don't think we need to like
No.
go super deep. Like the plot's fairly simple, but for an animation of its time, like I wouldn't be surprised if it had like not the most locations ever. I'm trying to just think of like other like animated movies I've seen.
I mean, even
There's
like
just
look
a
at
lot
Toy
of
Story.
locations.
Look
you know
at
what I
Toy
mean?
Story from that time. They have Andy's room. They have Sid's room. They have the gas station. They have Pizza Planet. A couple little street scenes.
Right.
That's basically it.
Yeah, like this one.
And
one
this
just
one
has
is
so much
yeah.
like swamp, castle, different fields, right?
Yeah.
Forest, forest again.
The other
from a
castle,
different perspective.
the volcano one.
Other castle, we got like a gold keep in there. We got like the actual keep with Fiona. We have
all the like space in between those. All those
the church chapel, right?
The other tower that they're in.
Yes, we're Fiona, like
Fiona
the mountain. Then we're like Fiona, like there's a ton, right? And I just feel like there's a lot. And
I mean, that's
like
probably also contributed to the length of time it took to make this, too.
Right, they're not going back to very similar locations, right? I mean, you could say they go back to Shrek Swamp a couple times, but even the contents of Shrek Swamp is changing throughout, right?
Yeah.
Like between dinner scenes and stuff, and then you also have like, I guess the backdrops are mostly the same, so there is some like overlay, but like there is a lot of variation, especially with all the fairy tale creatures that are being in there, right? But, we kind of find out that Shrek is developing feelings for Fiona while also struggling with feelings with himself because he's like, how could a princess really love an ogre, right? And so he feels kind of silly, like, why is he developing feelings for a princess anyways, when he kind of just wants peace and privacy and all this other stuff, and he doesn't even know if he deserves, like, love, right?
Yeah.
And Fiona's also kind of developing feelings for Shrek in a weird way, because at night, Princess Fiona turns into an ogre. Whoa! Basically, some foreshadowing that happened earlier with the magic mirror is like, well, I should probably tell you at night there's a curse.
I don't want to hear it.
Yes. and anyways, we find out that at night Fiona turns into an ogre, but she doesn't show Shrek or Donkey that because it's kind of weird and they might like exile her.
Well, she thinks she's ugly then.
Yes, but Donkey has a line, well, you're only ugly 50% of the time, which is kind of funny. Interesting thing. When the light hits her. Okay, sorry. When the light hits her in the morning, that's when she turns into a human. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But at night, when it's dark, she turns into an ogre.
Mm-hmm.
However, in the church scene, for some reason, to turn it back into an ogre, she goes towards the light. Isn't that kind of odd to you?
Like the final one?
Yeah,
like the final wedding scene?
In all the scenes where she's going to turn into an ogre, she hides away from the light.
Yeah.
And no, not even that. She just basically like before the sun goes down, right? And then when the sun comes up, she's still not turned into an ogre, but like you can, or turn into a human. But you can see when she leaves the building, and the sun starts coming up over the mountain. That's when and she can finally see the sun, right? But in the church scene, she goes into the light.
Yeah, I mean that one's slightly different because it's her final form, basically.
Right, but that was before the kiss, isn't it?
Was it?
I think it might have been. I think it was before the kiss, because she's like, Shrek, I have something to show you. I think so. And then they kiss, and then she like doesn't turn back, and she's like, oh. That's
The thing I find ridiculous about that kiss scene is that they replay the same animation that she uses when she transforms, but she doesn't transform.
Yes.
That to me was the most pointless thing ever.
No, I think it's sweet because it's
no,
like
it was ridiculous.
She thinks it's gonna like turn into final form, and then she does, but it's like not what we were expecting.
It was exactly what I was expecting.
Well, I think some people may have thought that like she was gonna turn into a human. again.
Oh, fair enough.
Instead of like because you know what I mean.
That's true.
To break the curse, it would
Yeah.
be true love's first kiss, and so to her breaking the curse would be like becoming human again. But no, it's instead like she's just gonna be ogre.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Now it's I guess we're a little ahead, so we can kind of backtrack a bit. Shrek and Fiona have a little date. They eat some swamp rats and stuff like that or whatever they eat. And Fiona rushes off to bed before Shrek's going to confess his feelings for her. Donkey finds her in this little house and basically finds out that, oh my gosh, what have you done to Princess Fiona? You're an ogre. Basically, the ogre inside the house turns out to be Princess Fiona.
He's like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna get you. Just stay." Just
Yes, they have a conversation together. Basically, Fiona tells Donkey that, how could anyone love such a hideous beast? Which Shrek overhears, and he thinks they're talking about them. So he rushes to Lord Farquaad basically to get Fiona out of his sight because his feelings are gone now because she thinks she's ugly. Right when Fiona's about to tell him basically that she's an ogre and that she's kind of also developing feelings for him. But Lord Farquaad comes, takes Fiona so that they can go get married, and Shrek goes his separate ways. Shrek and Donkey fight a bit. Basically, Donkey gets mad because he thinks Shrek keeps trying to like exile him and not like him. And Shrek basically is just like, you know what? Like the whole world sees me as a monster, so maybe I'll just be a monster, right? And Donkey's like, get your head out of your ass. Like we can go save the day and go get Fiona because she actually cares about you. As I read this, as Mike, she actually cares and enjoys you and likes you, and it doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah,
and so Shrek has a little bit of confidence and courage, and he's like, yeah, okay, let's go do it. So they ride the dragon back to Duloc to save on the old trip and mileage, and
save the gas miles.
And basically they go to stop the wedding, and they do, I guess, like they burst through the doors. Or Lord Farquaad orders to like kill them, but the dragon comes in, eats Lord Farquaad. Basically, Fiona reveals to everyone that she's an ogre in the process, which, like Lord Farquaad wants to like have them execute. Or
yeah, he wants them executed.
She wants to have Fiona locked up in the tower
because he's still technically, so he can still technically be married to her, so that he can be a king.
Yes,
but he's just not going to look at her overnight.
Yes, very interesting, and so. Basically, he gets eaten, and then Shrek and Fiona like kiss and do whatever, and they're gonna get married. But here's the thing. Here's the real thing. All of the citizens in Duloc are like pumped that Fiona and Shrek are together.
Yeah. Well, because the signs tell them to be.
Because the signs tell them to be, right?
I love those little signs. So clever.
But, like, also, they just watched a dragon destroy probably, like, the most beloved building at the time, that church, like, that chapel, destroy all the stained glass windows, even the ones he didn't have to destroy, just destroying them. Sorry. And then ate their king, or Lord, and then left.
Yeah, but
and they were like,
to be fair,
yeah.
Do any of them actually like him?
And then on top of all of this, they watched two ogres get married. And they're like, everyone's like, yeah.
It's true love's first kiss.
No one was like, maybe let's get out of here. No. Everyone just sat there and watched like it was an episode of the Kardashians, man. And I just it's so funny to me. And that wasn't a criticism. I just thought that was like really funny.
I do love, like you mentioned, the dragon. They blow out all the stained glass windows, and there's one left. She's like,
Yeah, exactly. Like just like for no reason, you've already eaten the bad guy. like, anyways, basically, they have a wedding, and I was gonna say that the wedding must have taken place a little bit in the future because in the next movie picks up right at the honeymoon, and they seem to have a little bit more chemistry, and everything's crazy and everything like that, and it feels like some time's passed. But no, that can't be the case because the cake they have at the wedding and the whatever is Lord Farquaad's cake. It's the same exact cake because they take off the statue of Lord Farquaad.
After the Gingy smacks him.
Isn't that weird? How they have so there has to be either the same day or the next day because it's the same cake. Otherwise, that cake would have been bad. And so you know what I mean? And otherwise, why would they keep Lord Farquaad's cake for more than a day? Like, you know what I mean?
Maybe they just made a replica.
Yeah, with Lord Farquaad. What was the point? Only to destroy it because it had Lord Farquaad on it.
That's actually very, very true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Very interesting. So no time passes. It looks like. I just always felt like, well, maybe because it felt like there was like 4-year difference with the movies that it was like, oh, maybe there's some time pass, but no, very interesting. Obviously Shrek 2 is just a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love Shrek.
The soundtrack.
The
soundtrack of Shrek, the original.
Oh yeah,
it's just
Smash Mouth.
Well, I mean that's one that's good, but
I mean, again,
I will say though that to me that is not where All Star comes from. That Mystery Men is where I.
Does not come from Mystery Men.
Well, yeah, Mystery Men was made before Shrek, so.
Yeah, but everyone knows it from Shrek. Everyone knows it.
Yeah,
from
but
Shrek.
I know it from Mystery Men.
Yeah, but like you were also dropped out of a Costco shopping cart. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And maybe you bounced once or twice.
It's almost like you were there.
Yeah, yeah. I think I have some fun facts.
You better.
Ooh. Sorry, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, that was.
This is the first animated film to win Best Picture or Best Animated Feature. Sorry. There we go. When it was created in 2001, this is the first film that made the old list or whatever, 2002, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. This is the first film to make it happen, so good on Shrek. Yeah. We talked about that in one of our animated episodes, probably like Emperor's New Groove or something like that.
I think we talked about it at the Oscars too, didn't we?
Perchance, yes, perchance.
I think there was some trivia question about that.
Yeah, probably. Animation started in 1996. We did speak about that. Kind of contributes to that $60 million budget where you're like, whoa. Like, hey, $448 million gross is great. $60 million is a lot. Especially like Mike Myers is big, but $60 million big? Interesting. Like a lot of these SNL guys, right? Like actually in the 90s, I think Mike Myers might have been pretty close to his peak, wouldn't you say?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I could see some heavy hitters there.
Yeah.
I think the most of the money though is coming from like
just the length of time, I would think.
Yeah. And not like Cameron Diaz or Eddie Murphy. I think it's coming mostly from we're in development for 5 years, right?
Yeah, that's like just phenomenal.
Animation and stuff. Not development, sorry, but we're like even longer though. Like if it started animating in 96, it's like, but think of all the pre-stuff they did and pre-casting and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, like actual production from like pre-production to release. Like, exactly. The pre-production for something like this, especially since it's so kind of groundbreaking at the time, like, you're probably looking at 2 or 3 years at least.
Yeah.
Plus whatever extra time for, people to, like, prepare for pre-production, you got your, whoever's, ideas it was,
Yeah, like all that development stuff, right? Trying to find money and producers and all the other stuff. And figuring out who you want to cast it, which is my next thing. So originally Chris Farley was going to play Shrek.
Saw that on one of the trivia things.
So Chris Farley died in 97. which is what I was just searching up on my phone. But Chris Farley did record
And it was released.
a lot of lines. Yes, in
Yeah.
2015 it was released. A lot of I think it was 2015 that they
It was
released some
2015.
of it. Yeah. Anyways, if you go on YouTube, and I listened to some of them today, if you go on YouTube, you can listen to a lot of the
I gotta listen to those.
some practice footage. I love Chris Farley.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
I think I like Shrek's voice as Mike Myers a little bit better than
I haven't
Chris
heard
Farley.
the Chris Farley ones. I'm gonna look that up when we're done. But
Maybe it's just because I like I like how Shrek sounds. It's just like in all the test footage, Donkey is Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
It's very clean. It's perfectly fine, and then Chris Farley next to it in the same scene is very. It's got that little bit of like almost raspiness. Like I don't know, like the right term.
his
kinda
voice
dirtier.
his voice definitely is not like a clean voice like Eddie Murphy. Like it has, and that's probably partly because he spent his whole career screaming. You know,
Yeah, like you can hear that van down the river, like
living in a van down by the river.
you can hear that in the voice, and so when you put it next to Donkey's voice, in my opinion, it's kind of like
Was he doing an accent in it?
I believe so. Yeah. Not as much as Mike Myers, but like it was
Yeah.
like the Shrek voice, right? And it less Scottish or whatever, but it was like the oh hello, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just yeah. I love Chris Farley,
Yeah.
and I think he did great in any role he was in.
Well, I gotta look it up.
And I think he probably would have been a great Shrek, but I think just listening from the limited stuff I heard from Chris Farley, I think I actually enjoyed Mike Myers' performance a little bit more. I think his voice fit in better with Eddie Murphy because I think it was a little bit cleaner. Like they just both sound clean, and so you're not listening to one super clean voice into a mic and one really like not that Chris Farley sounded like that, but that's an example.
Man, there's nothing like a fire and a noble romantic mission to warm the cockles of your heart.
Yeah. I like my cockles room temperature, thank you very much.
Hey, if you're not doing this for cockle warming, why are you doing it?
Simple. Fartwad gets his princess, I get what I want.
Which is? Now, come on, what do you want?
I don't have time to set it to music.
Oh, this is another one of those onion things.
No, this is one of those drop it and leave me alone things.
Well, why don't you want to talk about it?
Why do you want to talk about it?
Why are you answering the question with a question?
Why are you asking questions I don't want to answer?
Why are you blocking?
I'm not blocking.
Then why do you have problems expressing your wants?
I don't. I want you to shut up. See? No problem.
You're just displacing your anger.
Believe me, it's properly placed.
You're really mad at whoever did this to you.
No one did anything to me.
Yes. Someone hurt you so bad. Someone hurt you many years ago.
Leave my parents out of this!
Breakthrough! Let's go with that. Let's explore family origin. Were you hugged as a child, Shrek?
All right. I want a home. And someone to share it with. Okay?
Yes, Shrek. It's okay.
And Farquaad said he'd give me my own swamp in exchange for the princess.
You really think you can trust that Weasley oil rag, don't you?
Yeah, right. But now I'm gonna have what he wants.
Boy, has he underestimated you.
Yeah, he can join the club. People see me and they go, "Ah! Help! A big, stupid, stinky, smelly, ugly ogre! I'm so scared!" They judge me before they even know me. My folks always told me that everyone loves ogres.
I see.
So, I guess they were a little overprotective.
A little?
That's why I gotta do this. I want them to know I can take care of myself.
You want to make him proud.
Yeah.
You know what? When we met, I didn't think he was just a big, stupid, ugly ogre.
I know.
Night, Shrek.
Night, doggy.
It's pretty good. I like it, and it would have been fantastic.
Yeah, I think
But-
it would have been fine.
And I don't know, maybe this is partially just we're so attuned to hearing Mike Myers as Shrek.
Yes.
right? We've watched 4 movies at this point of Shrek being Mike Myers. But I agree. Mike Myers just has. I feel. I don't know what it is. Like there's just a certain quality, like you say, to his voice that makes him feel like an old man almost.
Well, yeah, when Chris Farley does it, the shrill I don't think fits as well because you have like Eddie Murphy. He's like, staple and that's why Maxwell's in the morning. I'm making waffles, right? And it's like, oh, it's like smooth and clean.
Yeah.
And then Mike Myers comes and he's like, oh, hello, and it's like, okay, like it kind of matches a bit more clean, like donkey rather than donkey.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like it's a little less harsh, and the ogre is supposed to be harsh and vicious and whatever, but I just feel like
Well,
the
I also
way
feel
the
like Mike
story
Myers
goes-
has more like of a roundness sort of and like fullness in the voice than Chris
Yes,
Farley. Like
yes.
there's a little more resonance there.
I agree with you, and I think it just worked better in that instance. Would a Chris Farley Shrek been great? Yeah,
Yeah,
of course
obviously.
it would have. But I think for what it is worth, I think Mike Myers did a great job,
Yeah.
and it was very hard for him to step into the role and do it as a friend of Chris Farley's. The producers said, "Let's settle this over a pint," and that is a line that actually made it into the film. But yeah, like it took a while for Mike Myers to get into it and do it, but he did, and he considers it to be some of his most successful work. Enough so that number 5 is coming out next year with a new animation style.
New animation style. What are they doing?
Oh,
I haven't looked it
you
up
don't
at all.
know? Okay, I'm going to preface this by saying before I show you. Okay, it's jarring. It is really jarring. You're going to say you hate it. I already know you can hate it. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Would I prefer the old animation style? Yes. From the original and keep it all the way through? 100%. Yes. Is this new animation higher quality? Absolutely. It is a higher quality animation. The colors are better. It looks good for animation. It looks very good. But given the fact that it's so different from the original, I don't think it should be used. I think they should go back to the original, but it is very good quality animation. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's very good quality. It does look
I'm gonna hate
good,
it.
but but in
hate
my
it.
opinion, they should keep the original.
I'm gonna hate
And
it.
I already know that that's going to be your opinion, that you hate it, but you have to agree with me. Or you don't have to agree with me, but try to agree with me that it does look very high quality, but they shouldn't be using it. Okay?
I'll try. But
Well,
I'm
we
gonna
both
hate it.
right now we both agree that they shouldn't be using it.
I don't know. I
Without
think
you
if
even
there's
seeing it.
sequels like this, they need to keep that
Okay,
continuity.
that's what it looks like. See, it's higher quality.
Yeah, it is, and it's definitely much like you can tell they're 3D models that are made modern. Like you
Yeah,
can
they're
tell
better. They're
You can
better.
tell, yeah, like even around the mouth and the teeth, you compare that to, yeah, like
It's better, but I don't want it.
no,
Because here's what this looks like to me, and it's like when you see like a cheap animation, like not on YouTube, but like on TV. You know, like when you're
Yeah.
like a guest character on a TV, and you're like, wait, what? That's not what they're supposed to look like, really.
yeah.
Like a weird episode of like animated Star Wars. That's what that reminds me of. It is way better. The lighting is better. Like he has like reflections
Oh,
and stuff like
obviously,
that. It's great.
Lighting is one of the biggest advancements they've made in animation over the last 20 years is just realistic lighting and the ability to calculate like light paths and everything. But I think you gotta maintain that continuity, otherwise it just throws people off.
My thing is, I don't think they were investing in this new animation style for it to be like an investment and cool and better. I think they went this way because I think it's actually cheaper to do the modeling that way.
Probably, yeah.
Because my theory is the technology for realistic animation is actually so much more advanced now and better that they can actually pump out higher quality stuff faster than trying to like do older like CGI like on some of the
you're right.
other
It's probably
computer-generated
cheaper and
stuff.
quicker. And I mean, like you say, realistic animation now is so easy. I mean, like in Blender, your average person with their computer at home can make a really, really good looking animation. And it's so easy to blend animation, like 3D models in with real world footage. Like I've done it, I literally filmed a video out front of my house, made a 3D dragon in Blender with some, smoke and stuff, and composited them together. Like,
That's really cool.
and it took me, a week to do. And like, that was like me learning how to do it. And, I did it in media school again, where we built a 3D set, filmed everything on a green screen, composited them into the 3D set, and like, you know what I mean? Like, it's really not hard.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, it's hard for me because I'm not good at that stuff. But
once you learn how to do it right, like if I went home today and showed you how to do all that, you could do it with the computer and the resources you have. Like, it's that accessible now. So
yeah, and that's good too. Like, you see like people on YouTube making fan-made Star Wars animations and in Unreal Engine or stuff like that, and you're like, whoa. Sometimes you see the comments are like, this is better than like the Disney stuff, and you're like,
because
whoa.
they're fans and they're not in it to make money. It's a passion project,
right?
know?
And so I feel like the new animation for Shrek is, while it is higher quality, you can't deny that it definitely like.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there.
It looks better in terms of quality.
Yeah,
but
if Shrek was coming out now and they started with this,
yes, there would be no issue.
There would be no issues.
Everyone, look at how good that looks.
Yeah.
No, the issue comes in where we have 4 movies that all look the same exact way and are fantastic.
Yeah.
And now we have to sit down in theaters for the 5th one, and it's not like anything that we're used to. And that's a big thing, is like, we want to be used to it, because I think, especially when you're doing sequels, it's a lot easier to fall in line with the characters, well, sequels after 10 years, that is, when the animation style is the same. Like The Incredibles, they picked up 10, 15 years later with a sequel, same animation style, maybe a little bit higher quality, but like the same character models and designs and stuff like that. And everyone's like, okay, perfect, we're fine with this. Now we can focus on settling back into the characters. But now we have to get back into characters from a movie like from Shrek, and they look completely different. Not completely different. We can still recognize the characters. It's just, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think personally, should go back to the how they did it beforehand.
Yeah.
But like you said, starting at ground zero, this would have been a very positive thing.
Yeah, exactly.
If they did a Shrek reboot, I could see them doing this. But since it's a sequel, it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's just going to be jarring.
It's just going to be jarring.
Yeah.
And while I think you can't say the new animation sucks. You like, I just like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. The other problem I have with a lot of these like ultra realistic animation stuff sometimes is the fact that it's so realistic.
Well, this doesn't look
It leads-
realistic to me.
No, but I mean, like, even just the more, trying to find the right words to this. Basically, I find the backgrounds get busier and busier. You look at like Emperor's New Groove, and that's 2D animation, but still, it's just painted backdrops,
Yeah,
right?
with like rolling hills
Right.
and stuff. Yeah.
And then you look at something like, Toy Story. It's not, the backgrounds aren't that busy, right? Like, there's not a lot of stuff going on. I mean, there's still stuff going on, enough to make it seem right. But like, and then you get into like some of the modern animations, and it's just too much in the background almost, and the main content gets lost, or you don't focus on as much. Like, I find, with Shrek in this case, I have no problems focusing on the action, but I find like with some of the modern animations and newer ones, it's like I'm distracted.
Right, because there's also like 600 cars going around.
Yeah,
in the
exactly,
background and
right?
stuff
I mean,
like
they
that,
can do that, and it makes it look more realistic.
And it's cool that they
And
can
it's
do
cool.
that. Yeah, like, and actually like animate traffic like realistically.
Yeah.
Cool. It's just, it does take away from, what might otherwise be something that would be more focusable.
Yeah.
You said it better than I did.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying. So, I guess maybe to summarize that, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to do better with your animation style, right? Like, if you care and want to make it better. In this case, I definitely think it's probably cheaper to do it a certain way rather than like...
And that's what I mean, like, it's a money-making business, right? They're gonna do what's gonna make them the most money.
Right. It feels weird to say that it's like to do what would be less quality would be like less work, but I just feel like in my mind, even it might be the dumbest thing I've ever said, but in my mind, it just makes more sense to be able to do that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I sound crazy or like
No.
does it? I think it does make sense, like that. We can actually like generate something to be higher quality, right?
Yeah.
So who knows,
know.
right? And I think would I prefer the old Shrek? Absolutely. I think yeah.
Yeah.
But
There's just something about the OGs that are always better.
yeah. In
Maggie,
in 10 years,
stop freaking barking.
someone will have finished animating Shrek 5 with the OG animation on YouTube, and that's going to be fine anyways. But it is interesting to me the direction they took it in, and I do think the animation looks really good. It's just a lot to take in, and it's not like bad. Like you remember Sonic
Yeah.
when they did the first Sonic, that was
Oh.
rough.
Yeah, I think Maggie has something out for the delivery drivers.
Yeah. Anyways, if you've seen the photos of the original Sonic that they made,
Mm-hmm.
do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Do you want to see?
Yes. Refresh my memory.
Okay. Like that was bad. And so people are saying, "Oh, it's like Sonic all over again." It's like, no, it's not. Like you can't give me that. The only reason people are saying that is because, like, that's what they're saying. Like, that's what the movie is, which is great. This is like, oh,
Yeah, now he just looks like a fucking weirdo.
yeah. Anyways, so it's like, I don't think it's the Sonic treatment. I don't think they're in the same category, right? I doubt they're going to do a complete overhaul and change it. No, this is the direction they chose to go with because it is higher quality, right? And it looks higher quality. It's just a tough pill to swallow because we all want the old stuff back. But yeah, there you go. Shrek has his own Hall of Fame in the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Oh, cool. I like that.
Just a fun little fact. I think Donkey should have one too.
Yes.
I don't know if he does. I did meet Shrek and Donkey when I was in Universal Studios.
The Shrek and the donkey.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a lot less animated in real life. They have like a little waffle stand that you can buy waffles outside of like the ride. They have a 5D experience, which is pretty cool. Only time I've been in like a 5D theater, I think. But like they had this thing where like Donkey sneezes. It's like you're wearing 3D glasses, but like the seats shake and blow air on you and spray water and stuff. And so Donkey sneezes at the camera and it splashes you. It's like, oh. And like they have this part where spiders start crawling around and so they blow air at your heels. So you're like, whoa. Yeah. My mom was not a fan of that.
Yeah, I remember being in one of those one time. I don't remember where we were. And my mom was with me. And they had this like little thing in the back of the chair that would poke you. And it was not.
That's called Uncle Frank. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, yeah, that was not fun. I didn't like that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much all I have
Yeah.
for facts.
I don't really have much more.
I've seen this movie a lot of times.
A lot of times.
A lot of times I watch Shrek and I think, wow, what a great film. No. I think the pacing's good. I think it's a simple story,
Yeah.
but I think it works. It's funny. It's well animated.
And the time is good too. It's a 90-minute movie, right?
Yes. Or just over. I think it's 139, I think.
I don't think so.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought it was oh. Should we look?
Maybe the credits are with the credits. It is.
Yeah, I thought
don't
it was
know.
like 139. Like I thought it was like 99 minutes
Let's look.
or some random crap. But I also watched it on Amazon. Oh, we watched it on Amazon.
Yeah, an hour 29.
Hour 29. Oh,
Yeah, so it'd be an 89-minute movie.
so we were both wrong. No,
I was closer.
You were closer. Price is Right rules. We both lose. No. You were closer. So 129.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Well, I think it's good for a shorter movie.
And I mean, like, I like shorter movies. You know, You watch them in one sitting. You don't need to worry about.
No, that is strange. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was 139. See, and I'm the guy who's supposed to be presenting facts, so that's pretty scary that I'm wrong a lot of the time. So it's like we got to put a disclaimer, like literally, don't listen to this guy. Like just like I got to wear a shirt that says "Don't listen to me," right?
Should have put that on the T-shirts. Just
yeah.
don't listen to this guy.
Not correct. Correct. No, it's just a well done movie, and I think the animation's great. Have you seen the 1995 test footage of Shrek?
Well, when I was looking up the Chris Farley one, I'm pretty sure I saw something, and I'm like, wait, is that what they thought Shrek should look like?
Dog, it's brutal. That is a Sonic situation.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about a real dilemma. You cannot tell me that was a good direction. Yeah, it was brutal. Like, he looked scary.
He actually looks scary.
Yeah. We should overlay a picture of that as well.
I'll find one and throw it up.
But yeah, like, thank goodness they changed that. It's not even that bad. I think it's just we got so coddled with how Shrek looks now.
Yeah.
Where, he definitely looks more like...
Well, that's just the thing. Like, the same thing with the Chris Farley versus Mike Myers. The same thing with that look versus this look. We've had 4 movies of the way it is. And so I think anything other than that just is really weird to us. But if we had started with that, it probably, like, maybe it wouldn't have been so weird. I don't know. But you don't know. You really don't know.
Exactly, right? Like, we wouldn't be able to believe that they changed how Elmo looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm sure if you looked around at early drafts of what Elmo was going to look like, you might actually find some gold in there. Or you might find some horrible abomination, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Right? And... I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes. So, if we're going to make a tier list of 2025 Shrek, 2001 Shrek, and 1995 Shrek, I mean, 2001's king, but I definitely think 2025 looks a lot nicer than 95.
Yeah. I'd take the 2025 over the 1995.
Exactly, right? And it's just using the same kind of model as Shrek, but just like, well, maybe not the same model, I guess. Just like the dimensions are a little bit different, but whatever. We're just tweaking it and doing some other stuff, right? And I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm so caught up on this. I would very much not rather have the 2025, but at least they're doing something, trying to make it better. I guess at least, whether that's malicious intent or not. Who knows? But I do really enjoy Shrek.
Cool.
Is that it?
I don't have anything more. Rate it and get out of here. Is this on the poster? Never looked. No.
I mean, you can double check, but I
don't think
looked today, and
I think it should be.
I think this is better than Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Whoa, crazy! I know. That's gonna start a war in the comments, but
I put it over Big Lebowski.
Me too. I put it over Wayne's World.
Yeah.
I put it over... Do I like Shrek more than Jaws? Probably not.
I do. I enjoyed Shrek more than Jaws.
Really? I actually like Shrek more
but
than
the thing is, we're also comparing apples and oranges. I mean, it's an animated movie versus live action. So it's hard to compare. Anyway, rate it. What do I give it? I'm going to give it an 8.8.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 8.5 for me. Yeah.
Cool.
There we go. There's Shrek. Thanks for watching The Viewing Room. I'm Ethan.
I'm Adam, I think. I don't really know.
You just watched...
You got to get better at this outro.
Thanks.